Hello everyone, this is Dr. Frank Shea, and this is chapter 17. We can talk about integrated marketing communications and direct marketing. Okay, in this chapter, we talk about IMC and direct marketing. If you click on this link here at the bottom, Taco Bell, you see how Taco Bell is leading to wedding bells. So actually, they have this love and tacos contest. Right? Customers are independent, a little cult-like, and interested in the cool factor. Right? They use Twitter to tell their love stories. And they have new menu item, a $600 wedding package. Right? And they use integrated advertising platforms, TVs, radios, outdoor advertising, cinema advertising, publicity, public relations, and social media for this campaign. So very quite powerful and interesting campaign. Okay? Let's talk about the a communication process. In communication process, and there's a term called the promotional mix. What's a promotional mix? It is the combination of one or more communication tools used to inform the prospective buyers about the benefits of the product, and two, that's the first one, and two, persuade them to try it, and then three, remind them later about the benefits they enjoyed by using the products. That's in the promotional mix. There's tools you can use during the communication process, right? So you use a combination of five communication tools. We'll talk about it in a second. You inform the prospective buyers, you persuade them to try, and then remind them of the benefits. Now this brings the subject to the topic to integrated marketing communications, or IMC. Okay. Remember the acronym IMC is to be your test. Yeah. It's basically a coordination of all different marketing communications tools and integrated and put together to work together. So the coordination of the elements is most important. First, let's talk about the communication process. How does communication take place? Okay? You might have heard about this or learned about this from your communications class, either interpersonal communication or public speaking somewhat. Yeah. Basically, in the communication process, like I'm teaching your class, this is actually also a communication process. In the process, you have the source, you have the channel of distribution communication, and the message, and then you have the receiver. In my class, for example, I'm the source, right? The channel of communication is my class lecture in the classroom. Used to be in the B&E room 136, but not anymore. So we are doing this online. And then you are the receiver, right? But in the process, there is actually an encoding process. That is what I want to express, what I want to tell you, is encoded. Of course, in this case, it's encoded in the English language, right? It's encoded, and then that message, or this encoded message, goes through a channel of communication, either in a classroom, face-to-face, or through this Blackboard, online teaching tool. Right? In the process, there are noises. The noises could be, if we were in the classroom, it could be somebody passing by outside our room, or there's somebody's phone rings, and then that's distraction, or whatever, right? In this online communication, it could be your somebody in your family, is calling on you, or your cell phone rings, or you want to get something to eat, go to bathroom, restroom. Okay? This could all be noises interrupting the communication. And then when you hear my encoded communication message, you decode it. Right? You decode it, and then you interpret that. You receive the message that you're the receiver. And then you may give me some response, or may get some feedback to you through this loop here, right? You may raise your hand and say, "Hey, Frank," or Dr. Shea, "I don't understand you. I don't know what you're talking about," or you want to ask for some clarification. So there's a feedback. And also, our field of experience matters. What do you mean by field experience, right? I have my field experience. I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but I'm older than you. I have a year's experience in America and also in other countries. And you may have some experience in other countries, or mostly probably you're younger. You're in America, live in America. So we have certainly a large overlap of our field experience, but there's some non-overlapping part. That's okay. But as long as we have a hugely large overlap, then we can understand each other. We can understand each other's meaning and the message, gesture, the custom, etc. Okay, the larger the overlap, the better the communication. Okay, this is a communication process. Okay. Also, in the communication, there's a communication process or communication. What is communication? It's a process of conveying a message to others that requires 6 elements: source, message, channel, receiver, and of encoding and decoding, as we just said. And the source is a company or person who has the information to convey during the process. The message consists of information sent by the source to receiver during this process. Channel of communication is a means, like a salesperson, advertising media, or PR tools, of conveying a message to receiver during the process. And the receivers consist of the consumers who read, hear, or see the message sent by the source. Okay? And then there's a feedback loop. Okay? That's in the process. Also, in the process, make sure you know what is the encoding. That's having the sender transform an idea into a set of symbols during the process. Okay? Decoding, having the receiver take a set of symbols, the message, and transform them back to ideas. Okay? The field experience is a mutually shared understanding and knowledge the sender and receiver apply to a message so that it can be communicated effectively during the process. And the response is a feedback loop. In the feedback loop is impact message had on your knowledge, attitudes, or behaviors. Okay? The feedback is the sender's interpretation of the response, which indicates whether a message was decoded and understood as intended during the process. And then there's a noise and the extraneous factors that can work against the effective communication by distorting a message or the feedback received during the process. Okay? The communication process. If you look at the 5 elements of the promotional mix, okay, in the promotional mix, you can have advertising. That's one way of mass communication. Okay? And it's also one way of promotion. Okay? And we can use personal selling as a promotional tool. You can use public relations, use sales promotions, or use direct marketing. And each of them has its own, strengths, weakness, and the methods and the cost. For advertising, it's a mass communication, right? And the cost is you pay for the airtime or space. It's normally very expensive. The strength is the efficient means of reaching large number of people. You heard about you've probably have seen the Super Bowls many times, right? There are hundreds of millions of people, watching that worldwide. Okay, the weakness of advertising is high cost, absolute cost. It's difficult to receive good feedback because you're watching the ad. You have no way to give feedback right away to the advertiser. Personal selling is more customized. You have an industrial salesperson visiting customers, give presentations. The cost is the fees you pay to the salesperson with salary or commissions. Okay? Strength, immediate feedback, because you have a person talking. Okay? Very persuasive. You can select the audience. You can give complex information. Right? But the weakness is very expensive. Right? Hire someone to do that. Message may differ between salespeople. You can use PR, public relations, is a mass communication, right? No direct payment to media is supposed to be free, and often most credible, okay? And especially it's publicity. But it's difficult to get media cooperation. They wouldn't do that for you for free normally, okay? Sales promotion is mass produced, okay? Wide range of fees paid, effective, changing behavior in short runs, very flexible, but could be misused. Direct marketing is customized, like targeting a specific segment or group. Okay. And the cost of communication through mail, telephone, or computer to get the direct marketing done. Okay. The strength is that message can be prepared very quickly. Yeah, and you can facilitate relationship with customer. And but the problem is that database management is kind of expensive. Okay. These are the five elements of promotional mix. Let's first more talk about advertising. What is advertising? Okay, it's a mass selling versus customer interaction. Advertising is any paid form of non-personal communication about an organization, product, service, or idea by identifying the sponsor or the advertiser. Okay? Two things, it's paid aspect, okay? And it's non-personal. So a salesperson selling something is personal. Advertising is not personal, okay? It's non-personal, okay? It does not mean that there's no person in the ad itself or in the commercials, right? Of course, we use humans, right? But it's not personal. It's not like interperson in a direct communication. There are advantages. I want you to think of a few. If you can pause a few minutes, think about that. There are many advantages, right? Large audience, you have your sound, video, and movement, drama, everything, okay? And it's very expensive, or actually, but even though it's expensive, it's a disadvantage actually. But the per person cost is actually quite low, And disadvantage, you can think about, okay? Personal selling, that's another way, very useful, widely used promotional tool. It consists of a two-way flow of communication between buyer and seller, often in a face-to-face encounter, designed to influence a person's group, the person or group's purchase decision. Okay? Remember, it's a two-way flow of communication because you have a seller and buyer there. Okay? You need to be aware of wasted coverage, which is not in the target market. And there are advantages and disadvantages. I want you to think of the one big advantage, you can have a person doing the selling. It's very flexible and it's adaptive. Okay? Disadvantage, cost is probably one of the biggest one. Publicity or PR, what's the difference between the two? Basically, publicity is a non-personal, indirectly paid presentation of an organization, product, or service. Oftentimes it's not paid, sometimes not paid, it's free, okay, by media. PR is paid, it's a management decision to, change public's opinion about your company. You'll both try to influence others, okay? It's non-personal, indirectly paid versus presentation, and there are advantages and disadvantages as well, okay? You can watch this McDonald's video for more. Sales promotion. There's another promotional tool. What's sales promotion? Basically, it's a short-term offer to help sell products very fast, right? There are disadvantages and advantages as well. Direct marketing, direct communication with customers to sell direct, like Dell computers. Probably sure you've seen that, okay? And in IMC, in developing the promotional mix, you need to consider your target audience. Okay, your promotional mix combines tools. You need to determine the balance of the promotional elements to be used, and you need to be consistent promotional effect. You want to assess the target audience characteristics. You're targeting consumers, businesses, or intermediaries. Okay, think about that. Okay. Think about, let's look at example, college students, right? If you're targeting college students, you guys, right? What should you take into consideration? Yeah. The spending habits lead to lifelong customers. How you do the purchases, spend your money, affects how you can to do so after you graduate. Okay? College students actually spend $545 billion annually, $500 billion. That's a lot of money. You are tech savvy, hyper connected, right? 86% on smartphones. Okay? You're digital natives. Okay? Mobile marketing essential to reach college students in IMC. Okay? Also, you need to consider in developing your promotional mix, you need to consider product life cycle. Okay? Remember the product life cycle stages we talked about? Introduction, first one. Second, growth. 3, maturity. And 4, decline. Okay. During the introduction stage of the product life cycle, your promotional objective is to inform. Okay, tell them, let them know. Your promotional activity, you want to try to publicity in magazines, to inform, advertising, sales force calling, and sales promotion. Okay. During the growth stage of the product life cycle, your goal is to persuade. This is when you should use personal selling or advertising. Okay? When the product reaches maturity stage, your promotional objective should be reminding, right? To remind them. Use reminder advertising. They already know, they already used it, right? Just remind them. Or use sales promotion in form of discounts, coupons, and events. You can have probably limited personal selling, not much. And you can use some direct mail reminders. Okay? When the product enters the decline stage, your promotional objective is to try to phase it out. You probably want to spend little money on promotion. Okay? You need to consider the product characteristic in deciding on your promotional mix, okay, to help determine your promotional mix. First is the complexity. Yeah. Is this product very technical or simple? Right? So sophistication is very hard to master, to learn, to use, or it's easy. Just somebody can everyday person could just grab it and start using it or enjoying it. Okay? Also, you consider risk, right? Financial risk, social risk, and physical risk. Okay? And we need to consider ancillary services, like a degree of service or support required after the sale, right? Not much service or a lot of services. This chart here shows the importance of promotional elements, how it varies during the stages of consumer journey. Okay? For consumers, the purchase decision process, we can classify that into pre-purchase, purchase, and post-purchase, right? Before, during, or after. Right? If you look at the importance of promotional tools during these stages, you can see they're different. For personal selling, this blue line here, before they purchase, it's probably not that important, right? During the purchase, it's high importance. Of high importance. Post-purchase, going down. For sales promotion direct marketing, before purchase, okay, gaining more importance here. Purchase, very important. And then the post-purchase, not so important. if you use PR for your PR activities, PR publicity, right? Pre-purchase is most important, right? During the purchase, not that important. Post-purchase, less important. On advertising, the U-shaped black line, okay? Before purchase, extremely important, okay? Get their attention, persuade them, get them to try, get them to go to the store, okay? During the purchase, it's probably not that important, okay? You don't see them much advertising in stores. And then after purchase, it's important again to remind them or to get them to win their attitude, to gain their favorite attitude, okay? And repeat purchase, okay? And also, you think about the stages of buying decision in developing a promotional mix. The stages of buying decision, as we just said, pre-purchase, advertising to inform. Purchase stage, personal selling, sales promotion, social media. Post-purchase, personal contact after sale or services. Okay? Also, you need to consider some channel strategies, channel control, how your product is moving through the distribution channel. Overall, in your promotional strategies, there are two promotion strategies used. Push strategy versus pull strategy, okay? Push or pull. These are very important. It will be in your test. It will be in your test, okay? Basically, push strategy involves directing the promotional mix to channel members to gain their cooperation in ordering or stocking the product. Remember, the key here is to the channel members, to the wholesalers, retailers, brokers. Okay, that's a push. You push through the channel. Okay, promotion to the channel members. And pull strategy involves directing the promotional mix at ultimate consumers to encourage them to ask the retailers for a product. You reach out to the consumers and ask them, to go to the store, to demand or to look for the product. That's called the pull strategies, okay? Promotion direct to consumers. Again, push channels, pull consumers, okay? Here, it is a push strategy. Manufacturers, right, the wholesalers, retailers, consumers, that's your push strategy. And this is the flow of it's the demand, it's the stimulation, and this is flow of information, promotion, personal selling, etc. For pull strategy, the flow of information actually goes to what? Directly to consumers, and the direct consumers will demand that from the retailers or the wholesalers, and the wholesaler will demand that from you. So the flow of demand goes this way, okay? It's different from push strategy. Also, the promotion decisions process includes planning, implementation, and evaluation. During planning your promotion program, you need to identify the target audience, specify the objectives, set a budget, set the right tools to use, design promotion, and schedule promotion. During the implementation, okay, you can execute the promotion, pre-test promotion, and carry out promotion. And during the evaluation, you need to assess the promotions program. That is post-test the promotion and make changes if needed, okay? There are, of course, always corrective actions taken on all three stages. In identify the target audience, you consider the target audience demographics, their interests, their preferences, the use of media, and their purchase behavior. For online behavior targeting, information about consumers' behavior online to personalize banners and display ads. If you go to Amazon.com, I'm pretty sure you all remember, you go there, they have customized, advertising and offerings on your website just for you, because they have a huge database of your interests and your purchase behavior. Also, in developing an IMC program, you need to specify the promotion objectives within the hierarchy of effects. Remember hierarchy of effects? The sequence of stage a prospective buyer goes through from initial awareness of a product to eventual action that includes awareness, interest, evaluation, trial, and adoption. Okay? Awareness is to recognize and remember the brand. Interest, they want to learn about the product. Evaluation, they appraise the attributes, compare your product offering with that of other manufacturers. Right? Trial, purchase and use. Adoption, they like your product, they're going to come back and buy it again, repeated purchase. And plus advocacy stage where loyal customers will recommend a brand to others. That's hierarchy of effects. Okay? Next, let's talk about setting promotion budget. Right? There's several ways of setting your budget. There's one is called the percentage of sales budgeting. Okay, say for example, 3% of your gross sales is your budget for your promotion. We use competitive parity budgeting, matching that of your competitors. You know, like GM, they want to look at Ford or Chrysler's budget and make that comparison and match that or beat them. Or you can afford budgeting, cover all other budget items first. Right? And also objective and task budgeting, determine the promotion objective, outline the tasks, and then determine the cost. These are the top 10 companies in promotional expenditures in this country. Okay? First is Comcast. You heard about Comcast? Okay? The headquarters is in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Right? They spend, this is in millions of dollars, $1,700 million or $1.7 billion. And the other promotions cost them, $3.8 billion. So total is $5.6 billion. That's a lot of money they spend. P&G, Procter & Gamble, $4.3 billion. General Motors, 3.7. AT&T, 3.6. Nestle, Verizon, American Express, Amazon, Ford, and J.P. Morgan Chase, they all spend over $2 billion each in advertising and promotions. Okay? How much should you spend on IMC? There is a promotion to sales ratios. There's a total promotion expenditure divided by total sales. You can see for Dunkin' Donuts, it's over about 1.6 percent. Okay? Starbucks, much lower. Panera Bread, higher, over 1%. Whole industry, just shy of 1.25%. You can see who is spending more, who is spending less on the promotion. So depending on the company and depending on the industry. Okay? So in developing your IMC program, you need to select your right promotional tools. Okay? You need to designate the promotion, design the promotion, and you can schedule the promotion. That's how you do it. Okay? In the promotion program, they are expensive and time-consuming. So you have to, when you execute them. So you have to create a process that facilitates the design use. You do audit to evaluate the process and test your communication elements, see if they work or not. Okay. Let's talk about direct marketing, the growth of direct marketing. The value of direct marketing is basically you get direct orders. You have use that to do lead generations or traffic generations, right? And there are also technological, global, and ethical issues in direct marketing. Right? Businesses' usage and response rates of popular form of direct marketing. Like this is blue is the business expenditures, and this orange is the response rate. You can see if you use telemarketing, these are the expenditures in billions of dollars. This is a response rate, percentage of response rate. Telemarketing, about 10%. Okay. Direct mail expenditure is about this much. A lot of money spent here. The response rate is only about 3%. Paid search, around 4%. Email, 1.5, 1.6%. response rate. Okay, that's what you can expect. Okay. You probably heard about the do not call registry. Okay, basically that is an obstacle to direct marketing. Basically, if consumer register their phone number with the direct do not call registry, the national do not call registry, the market cannot call them. If you're in the European Union, there's the e-privacy directive. Okay? So what do you think about that? Okay. You can move on to watch the cases of Taco Bell, the video case, and others, okay, if you would like to. But that's end of my lecture of this chapter.